Welcome to Aging with Pride, the joys and WTFs about aging queerly. We're your hosts, Wendy and Debbie, and we're serving up a hot cup of wisdom with a splash of humor on the side. Think of us as your guides through the wilderness of aging queerly. So settle in and join us for episodes that prove that the best chapters of your life might just be the ones that you're writing now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Aging with Pride podcast. I'm Wendy, she, hers.
And I'm Debbie, she, hers.
And today we thought it would be fun to dive into the gay games, what it's about, all the fun stuff. And because we are here in Colorado, the big announcement that Denver is in the running as a bid city for the 2030 gay games.
Yes. And you and I didn't really know about the gay games until fairly recently. So we thought it would be a great opportunity to share with other people who might also not be aware that there's a gay games, a little bit of the history behind it, and what it could mean for Denver, for Colorado, for really the United States. We're very fortunate because we could not do this on our own. We all know that, to have somebody with us joining us today, Lisa Seib, who is the co-chair of the Denver bid for the Gay Games 2030. Lisa, thank you for joining us, taking the time out of your busy schedule, which I know is incredibly busy. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here tonight. I too am kind of new to the Gay Games. Surprisingly, I found out about the Gay Games in February. I have never been. I have never been involved with the organization or attended a Gay Games, which makes me kind of a unique co-chair and brings a unique perspective into the Gay Games Denver board.
Well, I love that, but you have a skill set that is perfect for this. How did you become familiar with the Gay Games? You said February, but what was that introduction like for you?
Yeah, so for me, it was truly organic. So it was immediately it was following the election. I went through a variety of emotions after that. And, it was like I hit disbelief, I hit frustration, I hit fear. And then I think the darkest was when I hit a moment of hopelessness. And so from that moment, it was a hard moment to sit in, but what it did is it drove me. And I was scrolling on social media looking for ways to get involved organically and at grassroots. I no longer wanted to go big corporate sponsors or support. And so I was looking for something organic, saw an ad on Gay Games Denver Facebook, was like, 5 years out, I'll sign up, I'll volunteer to take tickets or, I don't know, hand out lanyards or something crazy like that. And it gave back my hope, actually. And the next thing I knew is the Lance Husak, who is my co-chair, he called me and said, hey, we saw that you signed up to volunteer for the Gay Games Denver. How involved do you want to be? And I'm like, I don't know. What do you need? So we started talking. I think what was attractive to them to bring me onto the board was a couple things. And to be completely honest, I was a woman of the LGBTQ plus community. I was older, so plus 50, which because the games is about inclusivity of everybody. And I also have 25 years of project management and specifically in events, in sports and entertainment, in team management. And so I think that was very attractive to the board.
Sure.
The biggest question I had was, I was like, what's the time commitment? And
Here we go.
yes. And it's actually a running joke today is because Lance is like, it's 5 hours a week, Lisa. Little did I know that actually meant 5 hours of sleep every night, because it's definitely turned into a lot more. But it's been very rewarding, and it's definitely lifted me up out of any kind of challenges that we've been facing during the current times. It's the one area that gives me hope.
Great. What you didn't realize is he was saying 5 hours a week, but then there was a multiplier after that, but you just didn't hear that part. So you went from handing out lanyards to the co-chair of the Gay Games. I love that evolution story. So thank you.
And
Here's
now
my
here
life.
you are with a second full-time job.
I wonder if you could help everybody understand who maybe this is the first time they're ever hearing Gay Games. Could you give us a little bit of history, how it's, whatever you want to share, how it started and where we got where we started and where we are today.
Yes. So the easiest way for when I try to explain the gay games is we're very much like the Olympics. So everybody's familiar with the Olympics. We are proposing 36 different sports and cultural activities. What makes us unique from the regular Olympics is we're all inclusive. So the motto for the gay games is surrounding participation, inclusion, and personal best. So athletes and performers and artists, because there is a culture side, it's not just sports. It's really for everybody. It's LGBTQ plus, but it's also for our allies and our advocates. Many people have that misconception that because it's called the gay games, it's only for those who are gay. That is not true. It's actually for everybody of every skill set. So if you wanted to, and you've never played pickleball in your life and you wanted to sign up for pickleball, you can do it. You don't have to be a pro. You don't have to qualify. It's very simple. So we started back. It started back with you guys could do it.
We are novice pickleballers, so there's hope. There is hope.
There's that hope that you were talking about. Now
Yes.
she has hope that we're going to enter the gay games as a pickleball team.
I'm waiting for
We would
it.
be the funniest pickleball team.
I can't even wait for the name of it because I'm pretty sure the name is going to be the best thing of your pickleball team.
It'll be the only thing that's worth listening or watching. That's true.
Yeah, so it started with the founder, who is Tom Waddell. He started it in 1982. He was a decathlon athlete for the actual Olympics. What he faced back in 1982 was discrimination around being a gay man in the Olympics. So he wanted to start almost a movement. And it was actually much like the Pride was in Stonewall, it was an act of resilience, of resistance, of protest. And so it started back in 1982. The first gay games was in San Francisco. It was relatively small. I think it was around 1,300 participants, and it was 12 countries. And so that is where it originated. We are now moving into, we will be doing the 12th gay games in Valencia, Spain in 2026. And we are going after the lucky number 13 that will be hosted in 2030. And it's actually between us here in Denver, Colorado, and Perth, Australia.
It's awesome. They have way too many spiders in Australia. I just want to say that alone is a good reason. Denver would be prime.
Fewer spiders. How many, you said it's down to 2 cities, but how many cities were bidding?
Yes. So the process started in January of 2024 with 25 cities that showed initial interest. What part of the process is that there's a deadline to file an official letter of intent. When it went to the letter of intent, it was narrowed down to 10 because with that letter of intent, there is also a fee. And I believe it's a $20,000 fee in order to become an official bidder into the process. So it went down to 10 cities. Then it went into the annual Gay Games Assembly, which is October of 2024. And there were 7 cities at that point that had submitted the initial bid book, which was 100 pages, giving an outline of how they would host the games and what would their games look like. So it was 7 cities that went into Washington, D.C. in October of 2024. Out of that, in December of 2024, the FGG, Federation of Gay Games, voted, and it came down to 3. And the top 3 was Auckland, New Zealand, Denver, Colorado, and Perth, Australia.
Wow.
The next steps was at the end of April, those 3 cities were to submit in their final bid book, which could be up to 300 pages. I will tell you that the Denver team used every page of the 300 pages, and you submit that in. Unfortunately, right around that same time as we were submitting the final bid books, Auckland, New Zealand pulled out. And so it left us down to the final 2, which is Perth, Australia, and Denver. The first step was this summer in July. The site inspectors of the Federation came out to see and check that each of the cities were viable in the sense of making sure that our venues were viable, that we had the support that we needed community and government wise. And from that, there was large reports produced. Neither of the bid cities get to see the reports until after the fact.
Wow.
And then the final step is in October. So October, we leave on October 22nd. We go to the annual General Assembly for the Federation in Valencia, Spain. It's always held in the host city of the next Gay Games. And we will go out there, we will present, we will answer Q&A in front of the 50 full members. They each have 2 votes. They will vote on October 27th. Then we will find out if we are
Oh my God.
being given the
Wow.
honor of being the host city for 2030. So we're keeping our fingers crossed for October 27th.
Yes, yes. I have lots of questions. Go
I
ahead.
know. We might have the same questions. I just wanted to pause because what you just described, I don't think many people, myself included, had any idea the amount of work that goes into just getting to this spot. And so you said that the guide, the book is 300 pages, and Denver used all of those pages. Now, I don't want you to go deep into that book, but what are some things that you have to, that might be in the book that, I mean, 300 pages has to be filled with so much information.
It's a lot of information. It goes over who is the team behind each city. It goes through a high level about what your structure will be, how you plan to fundraise. But I will tell you the bulk of it is outlining each of the sports and can you support them? Are they viable? So for each sport and each cultural event, there's what's called a red book. And the red book outlines the requirements that are needed in order to host that event. As I said, we have 36. So we had to, for every sport and every culture event, we had to outline the venue requirements, transportation requirements, financial requirements of what it would be to be able to host that particular sport for those particular athletes. So the bulk of it was that. It was outlining each of those sports and whether we could substantiate and keep them and be able to run them at the proper level that needed to be for the Gay Games.
Are those 36 sports, they have to be at every Gay Games? Or could it be that you maybe don't add one sport because you don't have the framework or the capacity to make that happen?
Yeah, each bid city gets to pick their sports.
Got it.
Okay.
So there's different criterias of sports, and you're required to have so many like A level, B level, C level, that exhibition, that kind of thing. And a
Okay.
lot of the bid cities fit them towards the culture of the city that you're in. So there might be some sports that are harder to do in the United States, but somewhere globally, those are more common sports.
Sure.
And so you pick the sports that are best for your
Got
culture,
it.
your environment. So we picked the sports here that were great for Colorado. That's track and field, that's swimming, that's golf, that's softball, soccer. Those are the sports we
Nice.
picked, the ones that Denver could support the best.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, that's super helpful. Thank you.
What's an uncommon sport that you
Yeah.
guys chose?
I will tell you the most
What can you tell us?
uncommon, in our bid book, the most uncommon one is probably badminton.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
so that is an official sport. It's not that common in Colorado. And so,
Yeah.
you know, for every sport, we have sport representatives, we have teams that support it. That was our toughest one. We
bet.
were able to pull it together, but that was a little bit unusual of one for us here in Colorado.
Wow. Okay.
How many I know this is probably an impossible question. How many people typically participate in the Gay Games, and how many do you think Denver will call?
It was a projection. We were projecting, we had to do worst case scenario, most likely case scenario, and then best scenario. So I will tell you that our middle ground, we were going for 10,000 participants here. I will tell you that the largest Gay Games, I think, was back in 1998 in Amsterdam. I think they had 14,000 participants.
Wow.
Yes. The last one that was here in the United States was in Cleveland, Ohio in 2014. And I want to say they were right around 8,000 to 9,000.
Wow.
We're planning for 10,000 participants total.
I love that.
That's a
Do
lot.
you have any idea of the 10,000, how many are coming internationally and how many might be domestic?
Historically,
Yeah.
if the gay games are held in the United States, 60% of the participants will be from the United States.
Oh, great.
And so that's what we're kind of counting on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
That's
think
great.
it's important for people to realize that your committee is a completely volunteer-run committee at this point. You have to have buy-in from so many key players throughout Denver and different parts of Colorado. And can you talk a little bit about what that process was like? How you take this to the mayor, the governor, how you take it to the surrounding cities that might have the venues that you need to host some of the sports? That has to be such a huge lift.
Yeah. We joke on the board. So we have 14 board members, and we joke that we all have our day jobs and our gay jobs because it requires that much effort to put on to go through this process and to do all the different steps. But you're exactly right. It doesn't stop with those 14 people. With any grassroots movement, your biggest and most important things is the connections that you make. And so we have spent so much time making those connections. We have the full support of Governor Polis. Mayor Johnston has been amazing. Mayor Lauren in Arvada has been amazing. We have had to make outreach because our sports range. We go from Aurora to Golden to Arvada to Boulder to Denver. Like this, it's called Denver Gay Games, but really it's all the surrounding cities.
Right.
And we've had to make connections with every single entity throughout those cities. And so it's been challenging, but it's also been so rewarding. At any moment, if we say we need something, we just have so much support with different people reaching out and willing to support us. And we're so fortunate and so lucky that we've been able to build that foundation of support throughout the entire state of Colorado because we've needed it.
Yeah.
And that's really great given just the climate that we're in and the constant attacks on our community, and having that support, I'm sure feels really good.
It's been tough. So
Sure.
I will tell you, we can't deny what's going on here. For us, we try to not make this political. We try to really focus in on what we're trying to do, which is always bringing our community together. But unfortunately, our community and even this whole movement has been made political. We face it and we tried to solution around it. But honestly, we can only do so much. And all we're focusing in on is that being that this is in 2030, we're keeping our fingers crossed that things will begin to slowly shift with some elections and some future movements. And then we will get to a better space where our community doesn't feel so under attack or challenged. The hard part about that is the voting members are voting in October. So even though the Gay Games is in 2030 and there's a lot of hope in 2030 because a lot can happen then and a lot can change. We've seen how much it changed over the last 8 months, right?
Right.
The hard part is they're voting in the moment that they're sitting in October.
Sure.
So we're coming into Valencia probably facing some pretty tough questions about what's going on. Are we ready to deal with it? We're ready to deal with it the best way we can. And that's being genuine, that's being honest, and that's really talking to the things that are important. Colorado, I think you can call us kind of a blue unicorn. We're a safe state. We have a lot of things legislatively. We have a lot of support from our government from the top down. Having a gay governor is huge. And so being in a blue state that is protecting the LGBT community at the level they are is vital. Because this state is protecting probably the most attacked, which is our trans community. And so they are the ones that we are having to stand up, lift up, empower the most at this time. And luckily we live in a state and we're trying to bring this to a state that is standing right with us in those movements.
Yeah.
And luckily, like you said, Denver is more forward as far as all of those protections go.
But the amazing thing is that, you know, based upon the foundation of the gay games, because it really was started as a little bit of a protest and a resistance, is that, as you can imagine, from 1982 till today, the LGBT community has faced a lot of different challenges between gay marriage, between gay rights, members in the military, all kinds of different things. And the thing that I think I admire the most about the gay games is they don't shy away from it.
Mm,
They have continued to bring the gay games where they are needed the most. So it's not always about um, man, where it's easy to host. It's also about where they are needed. And
yeah,
right now, they are needed here. Back
yeah,
in 2014 in Cleveland, Ohio, that was a conservative area, if you can imagine Ohio.
yes.
Um, and it was transformational. People
Mm,
talk about it today that when the gay games left Cleveland, Ohio, it changed things there. It changed the culture. It became more accepting, more understanding. It brought the community really together. And so
mm,
that's the magic of the gay games, is what they do for communities. So that's where our hope lies,
yeah,
is that bring it to a place that needs it. We
yeah,
need it here.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
agreed. Yeah.
Wow, that's a great point. That's a great, and I'm sure the relationships that you all have made, like you said, you were talking about the city of Arvada and different cities, those will last well beyond 2030, right? Those are relationships that help our entire community. And so there's this, it's not just a 2030, we're done. See ya. Those are long-term relationships that have been cultivated, which is really powerful.
That's one of the goals of us, is
Mhm.
that that's why we worked hard as a board to become an actual 501c3 as far as a nonprofit, and we did that because of the legacy. So even after the 2030 games, if they're brought to Denver, our legacy will live on after that.
Yeah.
Any money raised that's left over will go back to our own community, and our impact and our influence between sports and culture, bringing that back into the youth is
Yeah.
really important. One of the goals for us was the largest and the youngest, because that legacy is so important. So
Yeah.
that's why we're proposing to host the games in August of 2030 before school starts,
Oh,
because we wanted to get those college kids being
yeah.
able to afford it and to be able to come.
Yeah.
And so, because we want it carried on, because it's so important that our community has a space to
Mhm.
come together and be your authentic selves.
Yeah. I have a couple of questions. You had mentioned something about arts and culture. So I know that there are sports, badminton being one of them, pickleball being another one. I heard that. But can you talk a little bit about what does the arts and culture component look like?
Yeah. It's actually probably a piece of the proposed bid that we're putting out there to make it significant.
Mm,
Because this has been driven around the sports side of it, but
mhm.
the culture side was so important to Tom Waddell. So it's dealing with the dance, the
Oh,
choirs, the bands. It's dealing with the cheerleading. We have throughout the gay games, we have like they open up with a opening ceremonies, which is similar to the opening
yeah.
ceremonies of the Olympics. And on that, it features everything of the culture, the
Mm,
music of your culture here in Denver, Colorado. Who are the members of that? We focus in on the drag community
mm,
also. And so the culture side is just as important. It might not be as big as the sports yet,
mhm.
but it's growing in
Yeah.
popularity. And the cool thing about the gay games is you can do both. So you can register and then you can do the sports side and you can do the culture side. So we
Oh,
set up the schedule so that you don't just come and participate as a pickleball, team, but you also can do the sports and culture side if you want it as well. So it's those
oh,
artists, it's those singers, it's those performers, like it's for everybody.
That's
that's
great.
so
I
cool.
did read when I was researching a little bit before today, I did read that Tina Turner played at the very first gay games.
Mm,
So go
Wow.
Tanya.
yes.
Just want to say
Yes.
that's
There
pretty cool.
there there has been actually some cool opening ceremonies and participation by different performers. Like 2002 in Sydney, I think they had Katie Lang
Wow.
as the opening act. Not just performers, but I know in 2014 it was special because Barack Obama did
Mhm.
recorded a video as the welcome and the opening
Wow.
ceremonies. That was huge.
Yeah.
That's very
Yeah.
cool.
In 1994, they had Greg Louganis, who is a gay swimmer, who there was a ton of controversy because in the
Mhm.
Olympics, he was also HIV positive.
I
He,
remember that.
yes, so he opened the 1994 gay games in New York City. So there's
Mhm.
been some big names
Yeah.
that have been associated to the gay games.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Let's chat just a minute about the money, right? So you mentioned that it's a nonprofit, which is fantastic. What can you share about if somebody said, I want to support the gay games, how can I help support getting Denver to be the host city in 2030? And I'm a firm believer, as someone who does fundraising, that yes, money is fantastic, right? But there are also other ways that people can support and help. And so can you share some of the different ways, and whatever you want to touch on about the financial aspect is great, but for someone that's looking to participate at this point, if there is an opportunity?
Yeah. So it's a little bit complex. So I'll break it into a few different sections. So there are some misconceptions out there that we are funded by the local government. We're not
Mhm.
directly. And I say directly. So yes, we have the support from the governor and the mayor and that kind of thing, but financially, they have not given us a direct donation or contribution into it.
Mm.
We are a grassroots organization, literally made up of the community, dependent upon the community. Where the city and county and instrumental partners like Visit Denver have really helped us out has been that they have given us a commitment that if we are awarded as the host, they will give us in kind the
Mm.
use of some of the venues that are in our bid book. It's huge for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as you can imagine, large venues like the Colorado Convention Center, which we have
Yes.
probably one of our hubs and probably 10 of our different sports and culture thing, that could be a lot of money for us.
Sure.
So having that kind of a contribution is huge. I will tell you that it's been challenging. And here's what's challenging is we came into this thinking that we would have a lot of support from the corporate world. But as we all know, what's happened in the last 6 to 8 months is anything that falls, any organization that falls under that umbrella of DEI,
Mm.
it is hard out there.
Mhm.
So the corporate support, and especially that being publicly supporting a DEI
Right.
organization that falls under that umbrella, it's pretty much non-existent.
Mhm.
It's
Mm.
been hard to raise those funds.
Right.
But we didn't let that stop us. We pivoted. And what we've done is we've gone grassroots.
Yep.
So we have done fundraisers. We have done community nights. Lately, we've been doing almost beer bust every weekend. So
Mhm.
we are going to our community and we are raising the money how we know how to raise money. And that's from our community. That's from the support. And
Mm.
so that's really what we've been focusing in on. One of our huge partners is the city of Arvada. Old Town Arvada, they came out for the site inspection and they've been incredible with us.
Wow.
So they actually have a big event coming up on September 26th. They have a summer series, which is called Fourth Friday. They're giving us the September event, and
Mm.
it's a total fundraiser for the gay games out of this world. Those
Yeah.
are the things that make a difference.
Yep.
So that is how we're funding this right now. We hope that once we are named
Mhm.
as the host, then more and more of the corporate world will come back and want to be a part of it,
Yeah.
as they have in the past. But for right now, we're mostly doing it by the community.
Yeah.
So it's built by us and it's also funded by us. And when I say us, that's incorporating everybody in our community,
Yeah.
allies, advocates, and everybody that falls under the LGBTQ plus.
Yeah.
We got the links that you sent too, where people can go, the social media links, the GoFundMe page too. So we'll make sure we incorporate that. So people watching, if they want to, like, oh, I want to go help, maybe I can give $20 a month or 50, whatever.
You
And
know what? The greatest movements get started by $5 donations sometimes. So we
absolutely.
So we love and we appreciate every bit of it.
And the best thing, I think, is when a community realizes we can come together and do this lift. That I'm seeing just in my world of fundraising. A lot of nonprofits are losing federal dollars, and the fundraising has been exceptional because the community recognizes, okay, we're going to step in even more than we have before. This is important to us as a community, and they've given. So there is a beauty in that, right? That it really does strengthen the community. And we have the power now to make something really unbelievable happen.
Well, and the amazing thing that I also think we're actually trying to educate more people is, so we said our goal is 10,000 participants.
Mhm.
With the 10,000 participants, you also get spectators. So we're counting on another 20, 25,000 in spectators to come. With that causes an economic impact. We are hoping with that to have 100 million plus in economic impact for Colorado,
Well,
That's
which
amazing.
is huge.
yes.
Yeah.
I think the largest was the 10th Gay Games, Paris 2018. I think they grossed 117 plus million as far as an economic impact, which is
Wow.
significant.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah, it
is.
is.
That sure is.
Outside of kind of the economic impact on Denver, Colorado, our community here locally, what does it mean for Denver, for our LGBTQ plus community outside of just the economic
Mm.
impact? And
Here's,
not even locally, but even at the US, right? I mean, we're
yeah.
talking at a larger level, yeah.
So historically, here's what I think people have seen with the gay games is because they go where they are needed, what happens afterwards is, or even once they're named, is it begins to set a tone. And so we all know, like, the US has a huge influence on the rest of the world. So
Mhm.
what we're seeing right now is the US is turning more conservative. The world in different parts are becoming more conservative. With the gay games, we're hoping that the influence is that Denver stays progressive,
Mhm.
that Denver stays blue, and it begins to spread and to grow. And that also influences the world. So what happens here impacts everywhere else. And so that's what we're really hoping with the 2030 Gay Games is it feels a little, at least for me, and this is my opinion, but it feels a little like we're getting a little off center. And so what we're hoping that bringing the Gay Games back to the United States during this time is to kind of shift it back so that it's a little more balanced, that we start to have that influence on the rest of the world, to not go so far to the right or to the left, and really bring that compassion, that understanding, and that focus in on the diversity and the inclusion. So
Yeah.
that's what we're really hoping the impact is.
That. I'm making an assumption that once Denver is named as the 2030 host, there will be so many opportunities for people to get involved from a volunteering standpoint to other opportunities. So we want to make sure that people keep that in the mind as well. That'll be several years of opportunities, right? So
Oh,
that's
yes.
exciting. But kind of in wrapping up, what is one thing or what are a few things that you really want people to know? People who are listening, maybe not very familiar with the gay games, learning about it for the first time. What do you want them to walk away understanding?
I would probably say the one thing that has kept the drive in me going, because this is really a passion project, right? For all of us on the board, we're all volunteers.
Mhm.
We don't get paid a penny, and we invest a lot of sweat equity in this. And I think the one thing for me that is significant is we are in a time right now. They are trying to silence us, to
Mhm.
make us small. They are actually even trying to erase some of our community, especially the trans community.
Mhm.
And so what a movement like this really is for me is it's a tool of empowerment. It's lifting up those voices, taking a stand of resistance and resilience. And it's saying, we're not going small. We're not going silent. We're not going to disappear. It's actually, we are going to come together and we are going to empower our community. We are going to lift up So we could never do this if we weren't associated with other LGBTQ organizations. For example, the center here in Denver, Colorado provides amazing services for our community. They're a vital partner with us. And so they have helped to lift us up, and we will continue to lift them up. And that's the magic.
Yeah.
And that's really what I love about this. We talked about those connections in the beginning. Those connections aren't a one and done.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
really
it's nurturing each other. It's finding those areas where this one might need help. We lift them up. And so it's never feeling that in being indebted. So when they have helped us, we know that, and we will remember that. And when we're in that position, they will come with us. And that's the magic of this is I have met so many people through this that have been wanting to help and willing to give of themselves. And for me, I'm taking every person with me that I've met that has shook my hand, given me a hug, been willing to give $5, willing to give 500, been willing to give their time. They are coming with us to Valencia. They will be a part of this. And hopefully when we're announced, they will continue to be a part of it into 2030. And that's the magic.
Love that. So for those who are listening, one thing you can do that's super easy, won't cost you anything, is to go to the Gay Games Denver and you follow them on their social media. Please share everything that they post. It's all great information. I mean, you really do share a lot of good stuff. Just like and follow and share. That's the easiest thing you can do. It's the lowest cost. It's the lowest lift, but that goes a long way. That goes a very, very long way. So that's a good one. You mentioned August 26th, September
26th. It starts at 5:00. It goes till 9:00. I'm really excited because at 6:00 we have a special guest, which is dear Marcia. I don't know. We might have a special connection here.
Yes.
With Wendy and dear Marcia. Very excited about a special project that they've been working on with us. And so that will be the launch of this special project. I'm going to keep it a little bit of a secret because I want people to come and have that FOMO, that fear of missing out.
They will have FOMO if they are not there and they see all of the fun the next day.
And really, to what you said about liking us, following us, sharing our posts, here's the thing, is that there are global voting members of the Federation. All they know of us and see of us is what's out there on social.
Yeah.
And they are the ones that are voting. So you'll see us. We're right now highlighting our venues, highlighting Denver as a destination, highlighting our team, highlighting our community, highlighting our support. And that's because we need those voting members to know us, to know who we are, and to trust us with the Gay Games. And so those small little acts of clicking and sharing and posting, huge for us because it just continues to spread the word.
And not only for the voting members, but like I've been following the stories and all the posts, and it's very cool to see as a member of our local community, all of the places that you're highlighting, all of the people that you're highlighting, things that I didn't even know about being a very long time resident here in Denver. So I think it's great for the community as a whole. Is like, oh my gosh, Arvada, they're a safe city. I can go there and hold hands with my wife. How amazing is that? So I think outside of your voting members, you're boosting a lot of confidence and amongst the community here and melding people together through the posts that you're doing.
Yeah.
Or I feel that way.
Yeah.
That's our hope. And it's also to highlight the amazing state we have and the amazing facilities that we have. I mean, I mentioned the Colorado Convention Center, which always blows my mind, but we're teaming up with venues like Ball Arena. That's where our opening ceremonies would be.
Cool.
Our main center village would be Sculpture Park outside of the Denver Center of Performing Arts. An amazing pool in Arvada, the Apex.
Yes.
Outstanding facility. If you all know, we go all the way up to Boulder and Boulder Reservoir, or our triathlons and
Oh.
our marathons and that. We go to Aurora. It's just incredible. And that's the amazing thing, is that that's the difference between the
Mhm.
gay games and the Olympics, is we use existing facilities
Yeah.
and venues.
Yeah.
So we don't construct and build a bunch of things new. We use what we already have. And
Yeah.
Denver and Colorado is filled with extraordinary
Excellent.
venues, and we also have, like, we're a destination. I
Yeah.
mean, I just saw Brandy Carlisle at Red Rocks. Spiritual.
Yes.
And how many people come from other
Yeah.
places to Denver for that experience? So
Exactly.
How
And that's amazing.
I never asked this in the beginning, but how many days is it? How long are the gay games?
They ours that we're proposing is 10 days. It
Wow.
would be 10 days in August, and it's, like I said, it's very calculated in the sense that we want people to participate in as much as possible.
Sure.
So we arrange it so there's a nice balance between the sports and the culture side of
Yeah.
it.
I love that. 10
Yeah,
days,
very
that's a lot of money going into local businesses, restaurants, hotel, like everything that you've said, right? It's
Yes.
good for just the health and well-being of all the cities participating in Colorado. That's great.
It could be huge for
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
state. Could
Oh,
be
I love
huge.
it. Well, we can't thank you enough for taking the time out. Again, you have a full-time job. You are at your full-time job right now. You called in, right, which we appreciate, to then go to your gay job, I think you would call it. So we're really grateful that you were able to join us and share so much
Yeah.
wonderful information about the games and how powerful and empowering it would be for everyone who participates. So thank you so much.
No, thank you for giving me the time, giving me a platform to share who we are and what we do and why we're doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge to just make people aware and to make them informed. And so hopefully after October 27th, it's just going to spread like wildfire. And so
Yes.
it will no longer be people saying, "What's the gay games?" It'll
Yeah.
be like, "I'm a part of the gay
Thank
games."
you for
And
joining us
so
on today's
that's
episode
what I'm
of
hoping
Aging
for.
with Pride. For those listening, if you go and watch them, I would strongly suggest you do September 26th in Arvada. You'll meet many of the members of the committee will be there, so you'll have an opportunity to meet the committee, and there are other things happening. Zip. Okay, great. You have to go. All right. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Aging with Pride. Whether you are in your 40s or your 80s and beyond, we are here for every glorious chapter. Please find us on social media, YouTube, and wherever you stream your favorite podcasts at Aging with Pride Podcast, as we keep the community conversation going. And remember, getting older isn't about fading away. It's about aging forward with pride. See you on the next episode.